Hey, everybody. I hope your week is going well. My idea for this week was just to chat about the differences that I've gone through basically in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, and hopefully I won't babble on for too long, but I got this idea because last week I got some really exciting news, which was that finally I have a full-time permanent position at the place where I've been working on and off for almost 10 years now, since my oldest was a baby and he is about to turn 11. So it got me thinking about when I was back in my 20s. Oh, hold on, I got a pop up here. There we go, get rid of that. When I was in my 20s, I lucked out. I graduated from college in the year 2000, and that summer I got a full-time job in my field, which was TV production. So I stayed there for a bit, and then that was in my hometown, and then I got a full-time job in downtown Toronto. So my 20s were spent living in downtown Toronto, couple relationships, but nothing long-term, lots of dating, a little too much partying. So that was my 20s, and then I met my husband when I was 28. So I moved to his house, which is in one of the outskirts, and then we moved north. My oldest son was born a few months before I turned 30. So my 30s were, I had a newborn baby when I turned 30, and then I had another one 2 years later, and another one not even 2 years later. So that was all kind of a whirlwind because I left my TV job when I moved north. And no, I was fine with that. I was ready to do that. But my 30s were just kind of a whirlwind of having babies, and I got a job in radio, which I did part-time on weekends, and then I did daycare through the week, and then I got a full-time job when my youngest was almost 3, so my 2 oldest were in school, and my youngest had 1 more year to go. But it worked out because my mom does daycare, and she was close enough that she could do that, and she could help us out in that way. So I only stayed there for just over 2 years because it was just not a great work environment. And I went from a place that was half an hour away. They eliminated my position there. So I ended up at a place which was an hour away. And being the primary person for the kids, it was just too hard. If somebody was sick, if somebody had something going on and the school calls you, you can't get there for an hour. And my husband works just as far away. And let's face it, he pays most of the bills. So I do the majority of the kids' stuff. So that didn't work out. So I left there. I actually took a part-time job at the LCBO. And I stayed there for just over a year before a maternity leave position came up. This was just before I turned 40. So my 30s were just this whole whirlwind of part-time jobs and babies and home daycare and kind of trying to figure it out because I had done TV production but never radio. But living where I live, radio was a better option for me because we're out of the city now. So that was my 30s. And then I turned 40 in November, and I was still covering this mat leave position. And I knew I loved it. I've always loved radio since I was a kid because my dad worked in radio. And so now, just last week, so the person I covered the mat leave for is coming back, but somebody else has left. And, you know, you're kind of afraid to believe it. I was hoping I would get the position, but you never know. So here I am. Just turned 40, finally, with a full-time, permanent position that I think we can really make work for the family. So it'll be interesting. It is an evening shift, so I will be home with the kids to do the morning stuff, get everybody off to school, and then it's going to be up to my husband. He'll do dinner. He'll get them to extracurriculars, so we've had to have a chat about that, and pretty sure we can keep our extracurriculars as many as they had this year. I think we'll probably shift swimming lessons or something to a weekend so that I can take them on the weekend. But aside from that, it's going to be the daddy show in the evening. So I feel a little bit guilty about that, but I feel really excited at the same time because this is something that I get to do. It's something that I love, and I think it's going to be great. My husband's ready and willing to step up and help out, so it's great. So I'm excited. So I guess this is 40.